Welcome, FNUSA57 here. Today I'm back on State of Decay 2 on my Xbox One, and I have another tips and tricks guide for you. In this video, I will be showing you how to get unlimited resources, so things like weapons, ammunition, meds, materials, food, fuel, you name it, whatever you want. I'm going to show you how to get an unlimited amount of it without using any kind of mod or altering the program or anything. Remember, I'm on Xbox. I can't do that even if I wanted to. So, what we're going to do is you are going to need two things. You are going to need a friend, any other trusted player, and this will make your life so much easier for any community. And you are going to need at least one of, if not two, of the legacies already completed for standard difficulty. So this is not going to help you the moment you start the game, but if you were playing the game for a few hours, this could help you. You're going to want to go to Manage Communities, and you will notice that I have a standard community already. That's a production community. I have my Dread community, which is also a production community, and I have the 100-day achievement. You will notice I do have every single achievement in the game. All DLC achievements are done. If you need any other guides for this game, feel free to browse my channel. I have a ton of guides for the achievements and just general tips and tricks gameplay posted there. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start a new game, skip the tutorial. It doesn't really matter what map you pick. I picked the Valley map. I recommend you start on standard difficulty to make it as easy as possible. And you don't really need much. It will take you roughly about 20 minutes, depending upon whether or not you have help from a friend. And the really only thing that you need help from a friend with is a plague sample. And of course to transfer the items. So you are going to absolutely need the Warlord Legacy arc completed, because you get a giant pile of guns, ammo, and grenades when you start your first home. And you should also have the Trader, or at least one of these two cards. The Trader gives you a visit from a friendly trader and 4,000 influence after you settle your first base. So you're going to use both of those cards. Click continue, click fill with random survivors. It doesn't really matter what you roll on your survivors. It's honestly kind of meh. Really incredibly personal preference. You can go ahead and pick people if you want, like people with good skills. I've got a couple here that really actually aren't that bad. If you want, you can roll through them till you get the different skills like medicine, mechanics, things of that nature, but it really doesn't matter because these are all random survivors and the community is going to be deleted anyways. So go ahead and start the community, and I'm going to show you all the stuff that you get and all the stuff that you can get. It's absolutely an awesome way to do this. You will need at least one friend to help you that you trust. Go ahead and skip the cutscene. Yay, look at us. We have a pipe. Awesome. Friggin' love it. You will have a random rucksack in the back of the truck. There's actually going to be two of them. So go ahead and give the rucksack to one of the other people. Sometimes there's fuel in the back of the truck. Most of the time there isn't. And we're pretty much just going to skip everything at this point, because this world we're not going to keep. The only reason for this world is to make a bunch of resources. So just get to the starting base as fast as possible. That's all you have to do. You can use bags of snacks, because obviously you do start with a couple bags of snacks. You can play on this world as long or as short amount of time as you want. The whole purpose is just to generate resources to go to your other communities so that you can make like your Dread playthrough or your Nightmare playthrough or your 100-day playthrough a lot freaking easier. Or if you're just helping out friends that have started the game.
Okay, I'm right on top of things.
So once you get to the first base, you're just going to go in and clear it. You can bust through the door if you want. I honestly think it's easier. The only thing you want to be careful of is you don't really want to catch the blood plague. You'll have to beat down some zombies. Obviously, your people aren't going to have very good skills, so that's going to take a minute. For the interest of speed, I recommend that you go and do the bottom floors first, since the claim point of the base is actually on the top floor. And at this point, I would also send your friend a game invite so that they can be loading in. We've got a kitchen right here. Bam, done. And just go ahead and make sure you hit the right button there to claim it. Obviously, you'll have another little load screen. You want to invite the second player in before you go ahead and claim the base, because your second player will get that 50 influence, plus they will get the 5 influence every single time you donate one of these rucksacks. Now, the thing about that is, the more influence you have as another player in someone else's game, the higher your multiplayer rewards are, which then contribute to giving you even more stuff. Absolutely love it. The second player that's helping you out should also have a plague sample just to make this easier. But we're going to take a look at what we got. So obviously I have the basic melee weapons and backpacks that I started with, and some bandages and snacks. From the Warlord, let's see, we've got 200 rounds of 5.56, 30 rounds of 50 cal, some basic meds, 20 grenades, a 50 caliber bolt action sniper rifle, 2 M4A1s, and a sighted M4A1, all with full 30 round magazines. They do have a muzzle attachment slot, but unfortunately there are no suppressors with that. And then, of course, we have the weapons and backpacks and stuff that are on our 3 starting characters, which at this point can all be taken out, dropped on the ground, and then the second player will go ahead and pick them up and put them in their storage to transfer them. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but you'll also have this trader out here. And this is where it gets really spicy, because this trader has random goods. You do not always get the same items. I've had this guy have 7.62 kits. I've had him have 10 different rucksacks on him. It's completely random what you get. So this time I didn't get very lucky. There's only 3 rucksacks. There's a med rucksack and 2 foods. We also obviously have some chemicals and ethanol, scraps of circuitry. We've got a few different facility mods. We have another weapon. We have the Preppers 1022. So that has a suppressor on it. And you can just buy everything from that vendor. Then go ahead and come in, deposit the stuff, or just drop it on the ground. If it's a rucksack, just drop it on the ground if you already have the second player in the game, so he can pick it up and get ready to take it to his world. Right now I'm just showing you what you can do since I don't have the second player in this world. But we'll go ahead and we'll buy everything that he has. I will probably still have influence left over, which honestly is alright. It's no big deal. Influence left over is perfectly fine, because if you really wanted to, you could play on this world till you got a wandering trader or something like that and use that. But so right now we have 14 food, 4 meds, 8 materials, and 4 fuel. All of that can be converted into rucksacks and transferred over to your other community via a friend. We have 200 rounds of 5.56, 30 rounds of 50 cal, 3 different assault rifles, a 50 cal sniper, a 22 caliber rifle, some random meds and random supplies, a couple random facility mods, 20 frag grenades, obviously the backpacks and melee weapons that I'm currently using. So those are alright. If you want, you can come to the kitchen or go to the base menu. I recommend you clear the trash, because that'll give you more materials. In the kitchen, you can go ahead and craft snacks with your food if you want, or packets of seeds. if you were to build a workshop, you could break down the weapons and go ahead and just get parts if you wanted to. You can also go to the storage directly, and from your storage you can sort ammo if you have that. You can make gas cans from the gas, or you can scrap materials into parts. Just all different stuff that you can do with that. Really personal preference. If you have the different DLC packs or the Ultimate Edition of the game, specifically the Ultimate Edition, you can go ahead and use your Ultimate Edition melee weapons, ranged weapons, and supply drop.
Guys, deliver me some supplies.
Personal preference on that one. If you don't have the Ultimate Edition of the game, then you won't be able to use those commands. But that's not really a huge deal. It's just something extra that you can do. As you'll see, I have all of these little supply markers. And basically, then you will do the first quest where you get start construction on an infirmary or workshop. After that, you'll want to pick up one plague sample from your friend and go ahead and turn that in for the quest A Cure for All Seasons, which will give you more than enough influence for the second player to go ahead and have a level 2, possibly a level 3 multiplayer reward, which will give even more stuff when they go back to their world. So I'm going to pick up all of those melee weapons from the Ultimate Edition of the game. Do remember that melee weapons or ranged weapons that actually come from the Ultimate Edition of the game can only be picked up by people who have the Ultimate Edition of the game. If you do not have the Ultimate Edition of the game, then you will not be able to actually pick up those weapons. So just bear that in mind depending upon the friend that is helping you to transfer this stuff to whatever community it is that you wish to transfer it to. So you'll have like the Apocalypse bats and the Apocalypse swords that cannot be transferred by somebody who does not own the Ultimate Edition of the game. However, you can scrap those down for parts and then just transfer the parts if you wish. Because they are good melee weapons. They do a lot of damage, but if you can't keep them, then at least keep the parts, and you can make the parts into whatever you want. You can also wait on this world. Like right now, I don't have a friend online to help me transfer the stuff, so I could continue to loot throughout the game if I wanted to generate more resources. I could possibly wait for another trader to come in. Now this is the Ultimate Edition random materials one, which gives you a bunch of stuff like improvised suppressors, hiking backpacks, just all sorts of random stuff comes from that. So I do recommend that you at least call in that one if you have access to it. Plus you can go ahead and search these random spots if you want to. You do not have to, but you can go ahead and search them for more weapons. Like this character doesn't have a ranged weapon, so now this character does have a ranged weapon. Super simple. Just remember that this is increasing the amount of time that you are actually playing on the world. Once again, you don't have to do this. You can literally log in, claim the stuff from the Warlord card, claim the stuff from the Trader card, and move on. Or you can be like me, where you go and explore a little bit more and just kind of make that even better for you, even more loot. Like, we know there's another ammo rucksack right there, which is alright because I have to come back down here anyways to open this supply crate, which is the Ultimate Edition ranged weapon supply crate. And if you know you're going to be on the world for at least an hour to hour and a half, then I'd recommend that you spend roughly 600 influence and go ahead and claim 2 outposts. Whatever outposts you want, I would personally recommend that you claim ones that will produce whatever the materials are that you need the most. So for me, I love ammo, and I would want more outposts that produce ammo. And you can just leave the rucksacks on your character, drop them for your friend to transfer to their world or to a different one of your worlds. And if your friend isn't online, then, you know, you're a bit stuck waiting. But now we have some medkits, we have some suppressors, we have fuel, we have a whole bunch of stuff. Like, look at all of this stuff that we have. Freaking phenomenal. And that was just one playthrough. Doing this one time, and honestly, from the trader here, this random trader, I really got a bad roll because they only had 3 rucksacks. Like I said, I've seen that trader have up to 10 rucksacks before. So I got a bad roll on that, but it is what it is. Nothing that exactly anyone can do about it. I'm going to go back, pick up these ranged weapons, and then I will have everything in my locker, simply waiting for my friend to go ahead and log in so I can drop it on the ground for him, including the rucksacks. He'll put 1 rucksack on each one of his characters, and then just put the regular items in his supply locker, leave the game, I delete this community, and then do it all over again. And that is basically how you get unlimited resources. You can get all sorts of stuff, all sorts of weapons, the ranged weapons and melee weapons from the Ultimate Edition of the game, as I explained. Even if your friend cannot transfer them, you can unload the ammo from the ranged weapons, and then you can salvage the regular weapons for parts, and at least you will have parts. You could try to make those parts into vehicle toolkits if you wanted, but I would recommend transferring them over to a world with somebody with the knowledge of auto mechanics so that you can do it faster. As you see, these weapons, like I said, they can be unloaded. These will always be the same. You'll always have 9mm, 5.56, and 12 gauge. You can also put a suppressor on those weapons if you want, but we're just going to go ahead and, you know, put those all in the stash, so we have this wonderful pile of loot. All this stuff from only a few minutes of playing, including the load times. All of this from less than 20 minutes of playing. Probably realistically more about 15 minutes. If you had your second player already in the game and you didn't do a lot of searching, you could probably optimize this down to roughly about 15 minutes to do. And 15 minutes for over 200 rounds of 5.56 ammo, 30 rounds of 50 cal ammo, plus the rucksacks, plus the materials, plus the random meds and stuff that we got, and the melee weapons and parts, in my opinion, is definitely worth it. I don't know of any method of obtaining all of these items that is faster. The only thing that I will say is this does require you to have either at least the Trader or Warlord Legacy cards, ideally both the Trader and Warlord Legacy cards with another friend to help you out. Hopefully the video helped. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please leave a comment. Otherwise, smash that like button, share the video with your friends, because that greatly helps me out with the searchability of videos here on YouTube. And of course, subscribe for more content. So, until next time, thank you all for watching, and stay frosty.